We're very happy today to be able to speak with Eric Levinson to tell us more about Vina Capital regarding the Vietnamese market. I would like you to share your point of view and introduce yourself. So thank you again.
Good afternoon, good morning. So my name is Eric Levinson. I'm the head of business development for Vina Capital. I'm dialing in here from a sunny and beautiful Ho Chi Minh City, and very fortunate to live in Vietnam.
Could you give us a quick update on the performance of the funds?
Yeah, sure. So we have a Vietnam equity usage fund. Today is Monday, September 25th, and through today, year to date, we're up 18.6%. The index is up 15, so we're outperforming by 3.5%. The three-year number, our outperformance is even more pronounced. Three-year at 18.9% versus the index at 7.9. So again, Vietnam is a market where active management is really beneficial.
Okay, thank you. So what is the view of Vina Capital of the evolution of the Vietnam economy for the next 12 months? And we could speak about the deal seen with the US government.
Yeah. So, we're very positive on the economy. The economy earlier in the year started out very slowly as exports slowed down. And so it's likely that we'll finish the year with GDP growth of roughly 5%. Now, 5% actually is enviable for much of the rest of the world, but for Vietnam, it's actually a little bit below goal. And so as we think about 2024, we're projecting, and the government is projecting, GDP growth of 6.5%. Now, it's important that also inflation has remained low. Last year, inflation was at 3%. Year to date, it's around 3% as well. We do think it may go up to around 4% next year, but the government really manages inflation very, very well. And so we're in an environment where we're having continued export growth, continued foreign direct investment, and importantly, corporate earnings are projected to be roughly 20% next year. Now, the consensus for the market is 20%. When we look at the holdings of our portfolio, VVF, we're roughly around 35% earnings at roughly the same PE multiple. So you get almost double the growth at a multiple of around 11 or 12 times. And so again, companies will be growing very, very fast. The last thing that I think is really important, you may have seen this about 2 weeks ago on September 10th, President Joe Biden from the US was in Vietnam, and he signed what they call the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership with Vietnam, one of only 5 countries to have that status. And what we see are a lot of US companies, Apple, some of the large airline companies, Meta, as well as SpaceX, are talking about investing hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars in Vietnam in the next 3 to 5 years. And so while that new upgraded relationship may not translate into significant investment in the next 12 months, we do believe it will create significant FDI in the next 3 years.
The European French markets increasingly seek for the fund manager with ESG criteria. Is this criteria important for VVF?
It is. And in fact, I'm very pleased to announce we got this news a week ago, actually a few weeks ago, that the VVF UCITS fund has just been upgraded to Article 8, which is the article that includes ESG integration. And I do want to make a special mention that it took us a little bit longer to get the upgrade to Article 8 because a lot of the traditional data providers are not in Vietnam. And so we didn't actually change our investment process. ESG integration and engaging with companies on best practices has always been part of what we do in terms of managing the fund. So the track record that we've built is the track record you can expect going forward. We didn't change our process, but it's really heartening to us that the regulators in Luxembourg have looked at all the research we do, look at how we integrate that into our ultimate investment process in building the portfolio, and have upgraded us to Article 8. I think part of it is, Vietnam is 100 million people, and 2/3 of the population are under the age of 35. And so given the demographics of Vietnam, the population is very sensitive to what goes on in the environment. Vietnamese companies understand that to build loyal brands, they need to be very sensitive to the population. And so what we see are companies that are export-oriented are listening to their consumers in Europe and the US. And for companies that are really focusing on the domestic consumer, they understand that the core demographic is actually quite young and very environmentally focused. And so it's a little bit maybe counterintuitive, but Vietnamese companies are very, very sensitive to ESG.
Okay, perfect. Thank you again, Eric, for your time. It was very interesting. It will be a pleasure to talk with you again. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you very much.